Hello, and welcome back to Bible Notes. Today we will be discussing what is it worth, and covering the last three parables Jesus taught in the book of Matthew. So we will be in Matthew chapter 13, verses 44 through 56, or 52. 52, sorry about that. So if you care to join me, please turn to your Bibles and we will read together. Verse 44 starts, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field that a man discovers. In his excitement, he hides it back again and sells everything he owns to get enough money to buy that field." Verse 45. "Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant on the lookout for choice pearls." Verse 46. "When he discovered one of great value, he sold everything he owned and bought it." Verse 47. "Again, the kingdom of heaven was like a fishing net that was thrown into the water and caught fish of every kind." Verse 48. "When the net was full, they dragged it onto the shore, sat down, and sorted the good fish into crates, but threw the bad ones out." Verse 49. "That's how it will be at the end of the world. The angels will come down and separate the wicked people from the righteous." Verse 50. "Throwing the wicked people into the fiery furnace where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Verse 51. "Do you understand all of these things?" "Yes," they said, "we do." Verse 52. "Every teacher who becomes a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like a storekeeper who brings from their storeroom new gems of truth as well as old." Why did Jesus teach in parables? Well, for two reasons. Number one, it concealed the truth from those who were too lazy to seek it out themselves. And number two, it opened up the eyes and understanding for the ones who were already seeking it. It helped them understand the truth. A parable tells us a story using the familiar, using earthly things to explain the unfamiliar, the spiritual things, the kingdom of heaven. The value of something is most of the time only connected to what someone is willing to pay for it. What is the cost? What is it worth to you? This ring, for example, that I keep in this fancy box, this has a lot of value. But then there's another kind of value that we assign things, and that is a sentimental value. So it might not be worth nearly as much, but to us it's worth a lot more. For example, I've got this other ring. It didn't cost quite as much as that first ring, but to me, because of where it came from, it's worth a whole lot more. And then there are the things from the kingdom of heaven that has no monetary value. Money cannot put a dent on that price. Our experiences with God cannot be purchased. They are ours alone, and we have to work for them ourselves. They are given to us by God, and they can only come from God. They are of the highest, most value. So what is Jesus worth to you? So often today we forget his value and the price he had to pay for us. These parables try to explain what the kingdom of heaven is like. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure that has been hidden for who knows how long. And someone just comes along and stumbles over it, and that is just a Christian who has found a wonderful treasure. They weren't looking for it, but they found it anyway. And they are willing to do everything to keep it safe once it's theirs. Let's turn now in our Bibles to the book of Luke. Luke chapter 14, verse 26. If you want to be my disciple, you must first, in comparison, hate everyone else. Your mother and father, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even your own life. Otherwise, you cannot be my disciple. To hate in this verse means not actually to hate them, but simply just to put them and their needs second, including your own, and put God first, and to answer his call to follow him. Because God does not really want us to hate anyone, but he's just reminding us that his needs need to be first, above all else. To God, we are the most valuable treasure, like a pearl, the greatest pearl. And he paid the heaviest price for us. And now he is just waiting for us to discover him and remember his value. And remember the price he paid for us. But he doesn't ask us to pay the same price, because it is impossible for us to pay that. because we need him in our lives. We do not want to be cast out like the bad fish into the fiery furnace. We need to help the rest of the world to discover his value. Because God, in the end, will separate the wicked from the righteous. I want to be counted as righteous. Don't you? Okay, that's it for this time. And I will see you guys next time. And remember, I love you, and I'm praying for you. God bless.